Welcome to the new Love and Care Child Neglect Toolkit. In this video, we will show you how the new digital toolkit works and what to expect. To get started, you need to agree to the privacy statement. Please note, you will not be able to access the toolkit until this is checked. Here we have the introduction page. You can read through the principles underpinning the toolkit, when, how and why we use the toolkit, frequency and questions to get you thinking and completing an analysis. At the bottom of the page, you can also download a Word or PDF version of the toolkit. The next section is where you will enter your details. Simply enter your full name, agency and your contact details such as telephone and email address, and which part of the sector you are within. Up next is where you will enter the family details. To begin, you will enter the child's full name, date of birth and current address. To find the address, simply enter the postcode and click the search button. A list of addresses will then populate on the drop-down menu. Select the relevant address and continue. If for any reason the address does not show in the drop-down, you can always manually enter the address by clicking the Add Address Details Manually button. Up next is sibling details. If the child has siblings, simply select Yes and enter their details. You can continue adding siblings by clicking the Add Additional Sibling button. Up last on this section are the parent or caregiver details. Enter the full name of the primary carer. If you need to add a secondary carer, click Yes on the Add Second Parent/Caregiver question. Here is where you can navigate through the toolkit by clicking on the categories which you feel are relevant. You may feel that not every category is suitable. But note, it is not a requirement to complete every category within the toolkit. This is outlined in the introduction on the first page. In each category, a list of statements will appear, broken down into sections. Read through the statements and simply select any that you feel are relevant to the child or family in question. If you've made a mistake, you can simply uncheck that statement. Identifying neglect through the voice of the child is up next. You can find some sample questions to help guide you in gathering this information. In this section, you can type as many characters as necessary in the boxes provided. Here the toolkit has created a summary of the total number of statements that you have selected and which category they fall into. Essential needs met, many essential needs unmet, and most or all essential needs unmet. Below the table you will find a box for summary of risks indicated. Here you can type as many characters as necessary. Up next is the practical steps to be taken. Again, here you can type as many characters as you need. The review timescale. Based on your analysis, here is where you will select a time frame in which you wish to review. Once a timescale has been selected, the system will automatically generate a date based on your required timescale. When the date of the review is due to take place, the system will send you an email informing you that the review is now due. If you have selected the No Review is Required option, the system will not send you a future email. Lastly on this section, we have an upload field. Here you can upload any photographs that you feel are necessary based on your analysis. And finally, we have the summary. Here is where you will find a list of all the categories. When you click on a category, you will see a list of all the statements you selected alongside whether the statement falls in essential needs met, many essential needs unmet, or most or all essential needs unmet. Once you are ready to submit, please select the Submit button. You will receive a confirmation message. An email will then be sent to your email address with a summary of everything you have submitted. You are now ready for your review. In your email, a link to the toolkit will be displayed. Please click on the link to get started. Some sections will be pre-populated with information that you submitted previously. If you need to change any of these, you can override the text. Just like before, the toolkit is split into categories. In each category, you'll see your previous statements selected. Once reviewed, just as you did before, click on any statements relevant to this present day in relation to the child or family. Just like the previous statements, you can also view your last submission on the Identify Neglect through the Voice of the Child section. On the Assessing Risk section, you can also compare the initial summary table to the review summary table. On the review, you are required to share an update or change. Here is where you can do so. Once you are finished with the toolkit, just like you did previously, you can view a summary of everything you have selected. Click the Submit button and a copy of the summary will be emailed to you.